YouTube, it's your boy Whack is the GOAT. How's everyone doing today? Look, yesterday we had 27,000 people watch my video on the passing of Kevin Samuels. All right, and if you thought yesterday's video was juicy, you have seen nothing yet. It's about to get even juicier, okay? Now, before we start with that, I'd like everybody to sign into your YouTube account and click on the subscribe button. It's very important. It's a metric that YouTube uses in order to pay us as content creators, okay? So please, very important. If you're not signed in, go sign in and hit the subscribe button, all right? Now, as I was saying, back to the juicy details, okay? So number one, I was able to get a hold of the police report that was put in by the Atlanta Police Department, okay? And this is called an incident report cover sheet, okay? It's got the case number up there, and it's got the time and date. And for right now, it says miscellaneous non-crime, okay? Now, the woman here, as I mentioned, there was an individual that was with Samuels, and her name is Ortensia Alcantara. Okay, we're gonna keep note of that name. All right, we're gonna, I'm like one of the best detectives in the world. Okay, forget about Nancy Drew, forget about Carmen Sandiego, forget about Scooby Doo, forget about Dora the Explorer. Okay, I'm the guy to come to, and let's check this out. Okay, so the narrative says on May 5th, 2022, Officer Figueroa, okay, badge number 2205, respond to a call at 297 East Paces Ferry, Northeast Apartment 1605. Okay, if you don't know, that's a, it's called The Residence. I can say it now, and it's in Buckhead, in Georgia. Okay, now let's continue here. Regarding a person injured, okay, injured. Upon arrival, Officer Figueroa observed the fire department engine number 21 performing CPR to a black male unresponsive on the floor of his apartment. He says, I then met Miss Ortensia Alcantara. Now, it's kind of weird. See, he spelled it with a C here, but up here, he spelled it with an S-I-A. You see the difference here? It's kind of weird. But we'll get back to that. Okay, so maybe this guy just doesn't know how to spell, because see, he also spells Kevin as Kelvin over here, okay? And not Atlanta's finest, okay. Anyway, who identified the male as Mr. Kelvin Samuels, okay? His name is Kevin Samuels, not Kelvin. But anyway, Miss Alcantara stated that she met Mr. Samuels last night, came to his apartment, and spent the night with him. Interesting, okay? Miss Alcantara also said that early morning, Mr. Samuels complained of chest pain. What is up with this guy's punctuation and spelling? Mr. Samuels complained of chest pain, and she attempted to help him, but he fell on top of her and proceeded to notify 911. Okay, so he complains of chest pain, and then you're trying to help him with what exactly that would allow him to fall on top of you? Bizarre. Okay, let's continue. Miss Alcantara also said she requested the 911 operator to contact the front desk for a defibrillator to keep Mr. Samuels responsive until Grady arrived, because she's a nurse. Okay, so she says she's a nurse. Okay, keep that in mind. Grady, I assume that's badge number 741. Mr. Samuels, Grady bus. Listen, I don't know what the hell this guy's a crazy writer here. Okay, but Mr. Samuels was later transported to Piedmont Hospital by Grady bus number 741. Okay, and this is signed by Officer Joel Figueroa, reporting officer signature, badge number 7238. May 5th, 2022 at 10:14 hours, okay? Let's see here. It says here in small print, summarized report. More data regarding this report may exist in the RMS. Mark 43 RMS form version 2.0 generated by S. Avery, number 6068 on May 6, 2022, 07:32 hours. Okay. Supervisor signature was Cesar Fernandez, badge number 5619. Okay, this is like a full Spanish police department here. Okay, so, very interesting report. Okay, now also notice here they identify her race as Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander. Now, this woman, Miss Figueroa, by the way, that's the end of this report. It's only one page, okay? But it's interesting that they're identifying her as Hawaiian, right? Now, this is who she is. This is from her college that she attended. In 2010, she was on the soccer team, okay, of this college here. The team is the Newman Jets, okay, and it says here she's 5'4". She was a sophomore at the time. Her hometown is Garden City, Kansas. Okay, keep that in mind, Kansas. She transferred from Butler County Community College. All right, and it says here she was born January 19th, 1990 in Pontiac, Michigan. Full name is Ortensia Alcantara. Okay, daughter of Ernesto Alcantara and Juana Perez. Her major is undecided. Now, I can tell you that, remember that report said she's a nurse, right? Okay, so she actually is a nurse. But before we get into that, let's just, because like I said, that Hawaiian thing was kind of weird, right? I looked up her last names, right, of her parents. So one of them was Alcantara, okay? And it says here on this website that predominantly the usage of that name is highest in Mexico, Philippines, Brazil, Dominican Republic, Peru, and Spain, okay? So you'll see actually on her Instagram profile here, right? She says Mexico 32, no kids, backup page. Now just hold that thought for a second, okay? Because I want to go back here. Okay, so Alcantara, basically, Latino name. Okay, now the other one was Perez, right? The other parent was Perez. And that's predominantly in, let's see here, Mexico. Wow, high, very high, 2 million incidence rating. And Spain, Venezuela, Colombia, okay, the U.S., Guatemala, Cuba. Okay, so obviously she has a Spanish background. Okay, she's not Hawaiian. Maybe she was. Let's see. Didn't that page say she was? Let's see, born in Michigan. Right? So Michigan is not in Hawaii, so that's kind of weird. I wonder why the officer did that. But once again, this is an officer who spelled both of their names wrong multiple times and has some funny punctuation going on. So not the most, thorough officer doing this job, unfortunately. Okay, I hope that doesn't affect anything down the road. Now, getting back to her IG page, right? Now, if you notice here, it says backup page. Okay. Now, backup page. Why is she creating a backup page? Now, the other thing you're going to notice, right, says, let's see here. She has no kids. Okay. She's 32 years old. She only has 5 posts and 289 followers. Now, here's the odd thing that's kind of bizarre about these photos, these 5 photos that you see, right? Now, let's go back to her page here. All right, I'm loading up her page on Imagen, right? Now, I did a search for Ortensia Alcantara, right? And you'll notice that remember, that's her backup page, right? So there's one here that says Ortensia Alcantara Branding Boss Babe University. There's another one that says Alcantara Organics. So is she a businesswoman? Is she have side businesses? Is she an entrepreneur? I think we need to get a hold of this lady somehow, and reach out to her, because I think that's going to be her next step. She's probably going to want to do a bunch of interviews to garner attention, which I think is very distasteful. But, I believe this woman actually wants to be known, okay? Because if you look at the page, let's go back to her page here, right? You'll notice that these photos were posted, it'll probably say about 10 hours ago. Yeah, because I last viewed this about 3 hours ago as I was doing research, right? Now, why would a woman, now let's look at her, right? I mean, she is a pretty voluptuous woman, and we've, identified she's Latina, as Pitbull says, esa jevita tan enterita tiene tremendo culo, está tan linda, está tan rica, tiene tremendo culo. Okay, she's got some cuerpa. If you don't know what that means, that's Spanish for body. Okay, she's got a hottie little body here. Okay, now I don't know if they're trying to say that Kevin couldn't handle all of this body. And notice, very just look at her shirt. Okay, very very interesting. People are already leaving comments. Kevin Samuels killer. Is this her? She looks fat here. I thought he likes his girls fit. Oh, Jesus. Here they go. Now, she is very thick. Oh, Dios mío. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, she's got a lot of body. I mean, very, very sexy lips. Okay. I don't know if she has any surgery, possibly, but very toned. Okay. I don't think she's fat as the other individual said. I think she's, not a bad shape. All right. But obviously very pretty girl, but it's kind of odd that after someone died, you'd be posting like sexy photos on the internet. Okay. So is this for attention? That's the factor here that's very bizarre. Now, she went to, as I was saying, Newman University. Now, if you read here, it says here Newman University is grounded in Catholic values. So it's a Catholic college, okay? It's in Wichita, Kansas. Now, for some reason, all these girls that are like in all these Christian colleges, they're like the biggest freaks. I'm going to tell you right now, okay? I've been with a few of them. I've been with many different types of women, and Spanish, black, white, you name it, Aussie, Brazilian women, but I've never been with a woman whose poom poom was so incredible that I literally tapped out of life. Okay, this is like absolutely just a bizarre, nutty story. Okay. Now, remember, she was a nurse, it said in the report, right? So, me, super internet sleuth, I put my ex-girlfriend through nursing school. So literally I could like be a nurse, and in college, I actually took courses for all sorts of people. It paid a lot of my bills, from people on Wall Street to, I probably shouldn't say it, but I've taken a lot of coursework for a lot of people. I'm very like knowledgeable in many different areas from, chemistry, physical chemistry, organic chemistry. If you ever take that, you're going to hate it. Calculus, business courses, I've done everything. And, so one thing I do know is that, once you, pass, it's called the NCLEX exam. They have other titles, depending on what state you're in, right? But you have to get registered with a board, right? So this is the Board of Nursing. So I looked up her records. I started off with Georgia thinking, okay, maybe she's registered in Georgia as a nurse. And actually she kind of is, because if you read here, it says she has a multi-state license, okay? Right here, multi-state, okay? So that would indicate to me, by the way, you can hit the full screen button on YouTube if you're not seeing everything. That would indicate to me that she's probably a traveling nurse, okay? So meaning that she doesn't work in one particular hospital. She may work in a hospital and then she may work at a different facility, and then being in Georgia, it's kind of weird because think about it, right? She did go to a Christian university. So you would think like Christian values, like no sex before marriage, things of that nature, right? But she apparently spent the night at, Kevin Samuels' apartment, and I'm pretty sure they weren't reading the Bible, okay? Yeah, I'm pretty positive of that, okay? Now, you know, uh, that's pretty much, you see here, Ortensia Alcantara, okay, that's her. So she's definitely a nurse, right? And so who knows? I mean, I'm not judging. Maybe she's looking for love. She's looking for a relationship. I don't know. All right, but just seems weird that she's a nurse and she's not. And also think about this, right? So this happened on Wednesday. Now, if any of you are watching this that are nurses, right? Nurses are like sleeping at night, usually, okay? Depending on what time of the day you work. It's kind of weird that she's out on a Wednesday night. How many of you nurses are going out to the bars on a Wednesday night in Atlanta? Right? It seems kind of weird. So I'm confused. I don't want to allege anything crazy, but listen, sometimes, life may not go the way you want. Girls may take alternative options to bring in income. That area, Buckhead, is a very nice part of Atlanta. Okay, there are people with a lot of money there. I'm not saying she's an escort. I'm not saying she was offering any services to Kevin, but these explicit pictures that she's posting, I mean, it's just very, very, very intriguing. And it's just, it brings many questions to mind. Why did she spend the night? I mean, if she's just having a little fling with Kevin, I mean, you're sleeping over his home where, there's so many questions. Now I really think what's going to be important is two things, right? Number one, the footage. We want to see footage of them entering the residence in Buckhead, okay? And we'll give you a little. This is it here. It's called the Residence, okay? It's in Buckhead, in Atlanta, okay? And like I said, very schnazzy area. People with money are in Buckhead, okay? Here's the actual residence here, okay? As you see, lovely place, beautiful, right? Furnished. The place looks absolutely stunning. It's absolutely beautiful, okay? Here's take a little virtual tour here, okay? Here's the front of the building here. Let's see if there's any cameras. Do you see any cameras on the building here? I'm sure there are. When you get inside, there are cameras, okay? So let's see, are there any businesses across the street? There's a parking lot here, right? Let's see here. I'm sure that there are cameras, okay, that had to capture. This is a nice residential area. I'm absolutely 100% positive there were cameras. So we want to see video of them entering the building together. Were there any other accomplices? Were there any other individuals that entered the building with them? Did she perhaps, and like I said, we don't want to jump to any crazy conclusions here. But did she take advantage of him in some way? She is a nurse. I mean, do you know that if you put eye drops in someone's drinks, you can kill them just by putting an eye drop? So that leads us to the second thing that I want to see is I want to see an autopsy report that has toxicological data, right? So the toxicology report, we want to see were there any chemicals, any poisons, any substances, because for someone's heart to have this type of arrhythmia that required using the defibrillator, right? Now, if you're looking here, arrhythmia, right? That's improper beating of the heart, okay? Whether it's too fast, too slow, all right? And, the defibrillator basically just resets the signal for the heart, okay? So that it resets the pace so that the heart is pumping back. Now, we got to figure out, okay, well, did he take something that was something induced into Kevin that sped up his heart rate, that slowed down his heart rate? There's different chemicals that can different substances that can do this. Now, um, let's talk about the AED. Okay, so the AED, automated external defibrillator. Okay, we're going to look here. It says AEDs are used to revive someone from sudden cardiac arrest. This usually occurs when a disruption in the heart's electrical activity causes a dangerously fast heartbeat, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. If an AED is near someone having ventricular fibrillation or ventricular tachycardia, a bystander, public place, or family member can use it to jolt the heart back to a regular rhythm. Okay, like I was saying. Okay, it could possibly save their life, and of course with CPR, can help keep blood flowing to the heart, etc., etc. Okay, I don't want to bore you with literature, medical literature. Okay, but now here's the thing, Kevin Samuels did actually have Hodgkin's lymphoma. Okay, so let's watch this interview clip. This is from DJ Vlad. Okay, so shout out to DJ Vlad. All the information is here. Let's watch this clip. Okay.
So you graduate high school, I guess, Millwood High?
Yes, Millwood High School.
And then you go to the University of Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And you studied chemical engineering.
Yes, I did.
Okay, why chemical engineering? Because, I studied computer science, and I remember my AP chemistry classes that I just failed completely because it was just way too hard.
Well, I wanted to go to medical school. Why I studied chemical engineering? Because that's where the money was, the scholarships were. When I went to school my freshman year, Black Monday happened. So that's when the bottom fell out of the Wall Street. And everybody was graduating was coming back from business, and they couldn't get jobs. So people in engineering were able to get internships and able to get employment after college. So because I had a scientific mind, it made sense at the time anyway.
Okay, and you graduated?
No.
Okay, you dropped out?
Dropped out, you could say, yeah, I had cancer.
Oh, you had cancer? At what age?
21.
Wow. What kind of cancer?
Hodgkin's.
Okay, I'm not familiar. What is Hodgkin's exactly?
Familiar with, what was it? Hodgkin's is a type of lymphoma.
Okay.
Prevalent. Strikes usually between the ages of 18 and 26, and then possibly in the late 40s. I want to say Mickey Mantle. You remember for me who Mickey Mantle is?
Yeah.
The men in his family had Hodgkin's, and he kind of attributed the way he lived because he thought he would get it too. So, yeah, changed a lot.
Okay. So how does a young man really get the news that they have cancer? And is this like a deadly form of cancer if it goes untreated?
It has one of the most highest cure rates, but like anything else, it can kill you. Like anything else, I mean, it's shocking. You weren't expecting it. Well, honestly, I could tell during one of the internships I was having, I wasn't able to do things I used to do. I couldn't eat a full meal. I always had this pain in my abdomen. And the sad part about it is because when I was in school and didn't have the right kind of insurance at the time, going to the local clinics, doctor actually tried to tell me I had an ulcer because he thought we were in there just trying to, get party drugs for the weekend or whatever. I actually had to kind of demand that I get an ultrasound done. And I walked into a local emergency room and said, I need to get this done, an MRI. And the tech came in and started. And then when she stopped and two doctors came in, and we knew we were kind of in trouble. But they found a mass in my abdomen about the size of my foot. And after that, everything else just kind of got put on hold. When something like that happens, there's an entire procedure. They did a biopsy of it, and it came back what they thought benign, so they went in with traditional surgery. But after actually being operated on, I guess some of the pathology reports during surgery, I guess from what I remember, they actually said it started out malignant. So long and short of it, they closed me up because they shouldn't have operated in the first place. And then
wow, pay attention to what he's saying.
And from that point, treated it with chemotherapy, like 8 months of chemo.
Okay, and ultimately you beat it?
Yeah, I'm still here.
How did that feel to have your last chemo session?
Um, well, I was ready to just try to get back on to life. At that age, it's kind of hard. Everybody else is planning to attack life. And at that point, you kind of recognize your own mortality.
Wow. So he did have cancer. As he said, they had some type of mass. He had to get surgery for it. Okay. And that would lead us to wonder then, are there certain implications, um, from having cancer, and then that would possibly have some type of issue with the heart. Now, it does say here in this article, it says atrial fibrillation has a higher incidence in cancer patients. Cancer medical treatment and surgery contribute to its occurrence, although an increased incidence of atrial fibrillation is observed in these patients even in the absence of treatment. This suggests that the pro-inflammatory status in cancer predispose the arrhythmia, okay? So in layman's terms, they're saying that there is a correlation between AFib and having cancer, okay? If you look at AFib, atrial fibrillation, okay, is the most common type of irregular heartbeat, okay? It's as we were talking about with the arrhythmia, okay? So it says that risk factors are being age 65 and over, high blood pressure, diabetes, sleep apnea, heavy alcohol use, heart disease such as CHF and coronary artery disease, smoking, obesity, okay? Now, overactive thyroid. Now, obviously, Kevin's not obese, but does he smoke? Does he drink? These could all be contributing factors, okay? So, yeah, that's about it. I don't want to make this video too long, okay? But I wanted to bring up these points about this woman. Who is this Ortensia Alcantara? Okay, we digged into who she is, where she went to school, the fact that she's a nurse, she was a soccer player. Now soccer players, they do have a lot of stamina. So, I'm saying, but listen, I've never met a woman that had poom poom so good that it killed somebody. Okay, I think there are other factors here that we have to take in consideration, and I don't think we should be so quick to dismiss this individual's not having much to do, as so was done in this report. It's just, it's weird, right? Because if she was trying to rob them, I don't think she would give them her name. She'd probably give them a fake name or something like that. You know what I mean? If she was a lady of the night. Pero mira, mi gente, ya tú sabes, esta situación es muy loco, okay? We don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? This is nuts. But just want to give y'all an update. This is your boy Wacker the Goat signing out. Have a great night, and please hit the subscribe button, share, like, comment, all that good stuff. But most importantly, subscribe. Okay. All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.